Hello. Welcome to Port Misery, a GH podcast where we try to solve the forever mystery of why everybody in Port Charles is so damn miserable. Hi, it's Tara. It's 4th of July weekend, both in real life and in Port Charles. It's one of the few times where we're in the same time as the people in Port Charles. There's a potential that it's going to be 4th of July for the foreseeable future. I'm just going to keep it cute. I definitely know it's still 4th of July on Monday, even though it will no longer be 4th of July. Friday, or it wasn't even Thursday. Thursday was July 3rd. It was 4th of July in Port Charles. It was not 4th of July in real life. And now it's going to be 4th of July for the foreseeable future. So, congratulations. I hope everybody gets their fill of America's birthday in Port Charles because that's where we're going to be. This week was a week. This was a week. I watch the show sometimes with other people, and I think I didn't have a chance to watch it with them this week, but I saw what some of them were saying, and they were like, "Oh, this was boring," and I feel that, I hear that. I'm not adverse to it. I think that weeks like this are weeks where I remind myself that this show is a comedy. This show is a freaking it's a comedy. It's not, even though it is nominated for best daytime drama, it is very much a comedy. And weeks like this is where we got to remember it because like everybody is back to hating Sunny, both fairly and unfairly. I'm gonna get into it, but it's very crazy. It's a very crazy week. Homophobe Maria Santos is dead. Charlie's was firebombed. Selena Wu was framed. So much happened, but yet nothing happened, to be honest. But let's get into it. Of course, as always, the storylines I don't care about. This is obviously the girls are fighting edition because several girls are fighting across several storylines. And yes, some of those girls are men. And so let's talk about it. First storyline I want to talk about anything happening with Spy Hospital. I want to get it out the way. I'm sick of Spy Hospital. To me, it is the most annoying storyline. They're changing the storyline because they know that it sucks, and that's extra annoying. But like, let's get into it. So Pikeman is just lurking outside Carly's house after the christening, or it's a middle of the week storyline, and so I was like, let me get it off the way. He's lurking outside Carly's house like a freaking weirdo. Jocelyn is like, why are you being so weird, my guy? Come inside. What do you want? He's like, that was a test. You passed. Bruh, what are you talking about? Like, you're being a weirdo outside my mom's house, and instead of just admitting that you're a weirdo, now you want to be like, that was a spy test. You passed. Shut up, Pikeman. But whatever. She doesn't take that. She's just like, why are you here? He's like, spy business. I gotta brief you on the case. She's like, that could have been an email. All this could be an email. Like, are you trying to see my mom? What's going on? He's like, do not question my authority. Carly walks in. Exactly. Now he's all silent, looking stupid. And so Jocelyn's like, let me leave. Let me leave before I narc myself out to my mom and I get this man in trouble, lose a job. It is funny just because the only reason that she's at Carly's house is because she said she wanted to give Trina some privacy, but I guess she decided that she would rather hear her bestie get her back blown out than her mom, which I respect, girl. Same. I would have made the same choice, the same life decision. But she leaves. She gets out of there. Carly ends up telling Pikeman about the firebombing at Charlie's. But not that there's a dead woman at her hotel, because she doesn't know that, because nobody decided to call Carly or Olivia and say, hey, heads up, besties, do you know that there's a dead woman at your hotel who's dead? Whatever. She's busy talking about her Michael-induced fire PTSD. She's just like, I am so triggered. Pikeman's like, girl, you got PTSD. I see a lot of agents with it. PTSD be happening. Okay, bruh. Why we need any of this? Why are we trying to make this character work? Like, as soon as we find out that he had Carly's daughter doing spy games, get him up out of there. It's actually crazy to me that we have a regional office. Like, I thought it was mildly entertaining to have like a regional office of the WSB, and now I think it's silly. Like, why is this intelligence agency got a regional office in like a moderately sized town in America? It's so silly. But he gives her the little PTSD speech. She's like, "Oh my god, thank you so much." Then we go to Jocelyn because she did not go home. She went to go see the firebombing and complain some more about Sunny, which has been her whole personality for the past like 3 years. 3 years I've had to hear her whine about other people's Sunny induced problems. Like, all she does is complain about Sunny and take on the beefs that she feels that other people should have with Sunny because she don't have any real beefs of her own. I love you, Queen. I love you, Jocelyn. It's giving loser behavior. It's giving loser in high school. I'm just gonna say that right now. Like, neither Michael nor Christina are upset with Sunny. Carly is over the Nina of it all. You know, everybody's sort of tried to move forward after Morgan, and she's still like, I am fucking furious. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't be, like, in normal life. These aren't things that you normally get over, but like, she's honestly given Jasper Jacks in 2009 taking on other people's storylines because he don't have a storyline. Like, it's giving, I don't have a storyline, so let me inject myself into Sunny's storyline by just being upset with him all every time I can. And like, okay, Queen, her partner Dollar Tree Dex is like, I love that. And then they start making out for reasons. Like, he loves that she hates Sunny, and that's why she's doing whatever it is she's doing. Because she said that she is joining the WSB both like 20% to avenge actual Dex and 80% to get Sunny. And it's like, girl, it's giving loser in high school behavior. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. But whatever, you know, it's something for her to do. She needs something to do, and so that's what she's doing now. Her whole personality is hating Sunny, and it kind of gives, it's giving that they don't trust the storyline that they set out for her and Emma. Like, it's like they know this dumb Jocelyn steals Emma's homework storyline is trash, and so now they're setting up this, like, oh, the WSB exists to take down Sunny Corinthos. But why would an intelligence agency that is supposed to be, you know, gathering intelligence for the government, presumably from terrorists and other hostile governments, why would they care about this man and his fake fucking purses? Like, that's my always been my question. Like, why would the WSB care about this man and his personal family members getting got? Because it's not like he's taking out swaths of people, right? It's just like his personal, like, Morgan died, Michael got fucked up, Christina. And so, like, I understand Jocelyn's motivation, but what would, like, compel the intelligence organization to give two shits about what she's talking about? Like, girl, cut your family off. Like, if you hate this man and they don't hate him, then maybe you need to cut your family off because you and the family are not seeing eye to eye. It's whatever. It is whatever. Like, she's talking about Sunny in these, like, personal things like he is a terrorist. Like, he's not trafficking drugs or human beings. He's selling fake Fendi bags. He's selling knockoff Birkins. Like, it's dumb. It's dumb. And, like, it's dumb to make this young character's whole personality. She is so young. She could be doing anything else. Trying to get a man. Trying to get an actual job that's not stealing homework. Trying to do anything else. But instead, her whole 22-year-old personality is hating Sunny and nothing else. Which is usually a death knell to a character, by the way. When's the last time we saw Jax? And it's not just because Ingo is trash. It's literally because, like, his only function is to hate Sunny, and they can't think of another reason to use him besides that. And now they don't need him to do that. We got Jocelyn for that. And Jocelyn's not even the best character to personally be Sonny Corinthos' biggest hater, not when Tracy Quartermain's on the canvas. And so if you're not going to team Jocelyn and Tracy up, then how about y'all let Tracy do the Sonny hating and let Jocelyn do anything else? Just let her do anything else. But I say all that to say is that because it's going to be a big part of what I talk about moving forward. We are back in the quote everyone is worried about Sonny's lifestyle quote era. And sure, like it's reasonable. Like it's a reasonable thing because he's a mobster and like the show has arguably not really dealt with his mobster business and how that affects people in a really long time, but not but both of those things. So they haven't dealt with the mobster business, one, and they haven't dealt with how it affects people in a really long time. And now it seems like they want to deal with how it affects people, but without actually giving us real mobster business, right? Because like, what the fuck is Sonny doing right now? It's like, what's he doing? Like, we haven't seen Sonny mobbing hardcore full time in years. And now everything he's doing is reactionary, right? He's out here like, I'm gonna kill African warlord's son because I think he's trying to kill my children. Not like I'm just doing it for shits and giggles. And like, yes, he was crashing out like last year when he was off his meds, but the excuse became that he was off his meds, right? Like he's not choosing to crash out. He's being affected by this. Something's happening to him and now he's crashing out, right? And then like, yes, he was on his meds when he killed Jagger, but by then Jagger had devolved into the actual villain of the story. And I'm not talking about like how people personally feel about Sonny. I'm talking about like, if we go by the actual story that was being told, you had, you know, him railroading Christina after she's just got out the hospital. He's trying to kill Ava. Like, you know, he's not doing great stuff. It's not like, oh, well, here's Sonny making him look bad. Like, he's doing stuff to make himself look bad. And once Alexis got exonerated, that storyline was dropped completely. Like, it was just like, well, we're never going to know who killed Jagger, even though everybody knew it was Sonny and he did it pretty much in public. But we haven't seen any of that since Jagger got, essentially. Like, all we have seen is Sonny is him trying to, like, hang out with his grandkids and fix his heart. That's all we've seen. And everything else has been induced from outside sources, most likely white East African warlord. And so while I understand everybody and they're like, oh my God, what do we do about Sonny? Like, and I do agree that Laura, because I'm going to talk about her in a sec, sounds like an idiot. She is technically the only person making sense based off of the story that is currently being told and not some shit from 30 years ago. Like, not some PTSD, which is like the word of the week. Some PTSD Sonny bullshit from like 2004. Like, she's the only one dealing with like the facts of what's happening right now, and the idea that right now white East African warlord is actually the bad person in town. Like, even though y'all are used to it being Sonny. And so that is Spy Hospital. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Sorry, Jocelyn. Girl, you done burned too many bridges and now I can't help you because like there's nothing you could have this character do that would make the people who don't like her like her. There's nothing you could do. Like, there's nothing like, oh, if we just have her hate the correct people, then people will turn and be like, oh my God, I love this character. No, the people who hate her are going to keep hating her. And so I feel like all you doing is taking the people who actually like her character, at least some of them, like a handful, because I'm sure there are people who are like, I fucking hate Sonny. I love that she's doing this. You know, I know the certain fandoms who are like, I hate Sonny and I hope Jocelyn takes his ass down. And like, I'm not coming for y'all. Y'all are allowed to feel the way you want to feel. I'm just saying there's a segment of Jocelyn fans who are not going to follow her down this path. They're just going to be like, whatever happens, happens, girl. And I don't know what to say. Like, I hope it works out for him. And I hope you get out of it with your relationships with your entire family intact. That's all I have to say. But let's move past it. I like sincerely hope that Jocelyn stops being a spy at any point. I hope there's just some weird point in her life. Like, oh my God, remember the time I said I was going to become like a life coach? And now I just went back and, got a job at an insurance company. I hope it's like that. Like, remember when I said I was going to be a spy? I'm done. I'm going to go work for ELQ now. Do something else. Something else with that character. But let's move past it. Let's go to Black Hospital. Black Hospital this week. Black Hospital is now Gaslight Hospital, starring Curtis Ashford, gaslighting multiple women in his life. I'm sick of this man. I'm sick of this man. No one will ever convince me that he isn't trash. Like, I will never be convinced that he's in the right. And I will never be convinced that Jordan's in the right. Let's get into it. So, Curtis, last week, Portia, made it so, I guess, I don't even know how this happened. I'm guessing she texted Jordan from Curtis's phone, come see me. Jordan could not wait to get there. She's like, let me run there. And when she gets there, Curtis is about to bang Portia on the desk. Curtis then launches into this whole thing because Jordan leaves all hurt. Who cares about her being hurt? Who cares about your ex-wife having hurt feelings about you kissing your current wife? Bruh, what you talking about? And Portia tries to be like, you keep talking about my lies. You're out here having a whole ass emotional affair with your ex-wife, but you want to talk about my lies and how they're making you do it. Bruh, be so fucking serious. Be so serious. And he's really like, no, Jordan would never. Jordan would never do anything like this. Jordan would never lie to me. Portia's rightly like, you divorced her ass for the same thing. You divorced her for the same thing. He's like, no, it was a work thing that she lied about, not what you're lying about. So what you're saying, Curtis, is that you divorced Jordan for no reason, that you overreacted back then. And so why wouldn't we assume that you're overreacting right now? And like I said, her telling one lie does not give him permission to engage in an emotional affair with his ex-wife. And his ex-wife, even though she's one of the most beautiful women on the goddamn planet, once again, like Jocelyn Jacks, also very beautiful woman, loser-ass behavior. Loser behavior, Jordan. This is giving loser. Like, what do you mean? Anna coaching her is giving coach of a loser. Like, Anna, you have an unnatural allegiance to losers, and it's unbecoming of you. Because you and Robert and Holly are nothing like Portia, Curtis, and Jordan. And Curtis is nothing like Robert. And I don't think Robert was worth all that, but Curtis damn sure ain't worth all that. And so you being like, girl, you gotta work out your feelings, while she's like, Portia's a lying bitch. You're a loser bitch. So which is worse? This man has dragged two beautiful black women down, and I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. And so, Portia leaves. Jordan is like, oh my God, I have to let go of Curtis. Anna's still like, well, I still am team be a slut, do whatever you want, but I'm going to support you regardless. I'm team everybody leave Curtis. Curtis needs to be alone at the end of this. I want a throuple between attractive biracial doctor Jordan Ashford and Portia Robinson. I want the Portia Jordan sapphic love story that we have been denied for years, and I want attractive biracial doctor to be their little doctor love toy. He's gonna be the meat in the Portia Jordan sandwich. Give it to me. Curtis, I want alone. I want him in a cardboard box. I want him in the cardboard box next to Drew. Next to Drew and Willow's cardboard box, to be honest. Because I'm sick of all three of them. But so in summation, Curtis Ashford is the worst. And I hate Curtis Ashford. This is Gaslight Hospital. Continuing the gaslighting theme, Trina in Thursday's episode is just continuously lied to by unattractive biracial ex-football player who doesn't tell her. So Willow ran up like, "Oh my god, you're doing such a great job. Thank you for helping Drew." Trina's like, "How'd you help Drew?" And he's like, "Oh, I said he had a phone call. He didn't have a phone call. I just got him out of there." But he doesn't tell her that essentially he narked out her whole family to Drew. And so she's busy like bearing her soul to him. Like, "Oh my god, I've gone through so much because of Spencer, and I didn't know I could feel this way." And he's just letting her say this, knowing that he betrayed her whole family to Drew. And so that's Black Hospital. Like I said, Black Hospital this week with Gaslight Hospital. All of the men of Black Hospital except attractive biracial doctor are trash. Throw them all away. Throw both of them away. TJ's not on the campus anymore. He's somewhere in the off-screen extended universe of the hospital, but he's not on the campus anymore, so I'm not talking about him. Curtis Ashford and unattractive biracial ex-football player, one and the same. Terrible. Terrible. And so, let's move past it. Let's move to more interesting stories. Now, everything moving forward kind of goes into each other because it all goes into the girls are fighting and everybody is mad at Sunny storyline that is sort of permeating through the week because so many things are happening. Port Charles went from the most boring, sleepy town in upstate New York to just the Wild Wild West in like 30 minutes flat. Let's get into it. So first, we got Laura. Laura doesn't really pop up until Thursday's episode, but she's kind of permeating throughout the storyline because she is the mayor, and she is literally about to deputize Sunny. She is like, "Sunny is my best friend. He's the only one I could trust." Lulu is like, you gotta ditch Sunny. Like, to be honest, like, you don't even have to mean that shit, but you gotta tell people that you don't fuck with him because you're losing, queen. You're losing. Homophobe Santos dead. Charlie's on fire. Christina's in the hospital. Like, everybody's mad. Everybody's mad, so you hanging out with Sunny is not good. Laura is like, nah. It's Whitey's African warlord and the city councilman. And if I disavow Sonny Corinthos mob kingpin, they win. Girl, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, none of it makes sense, but all of it makes sense. Like, also, when is this vote? Like, they keep talking about this vote and how the councilman is winning, but what vote? What? I don't know how many of you have seen Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. I feel like Michelle, when everyone's like, "The vote's happening," and she's like, "What vote? Like, what vote are y'all talking about?" Like, I feel so lost, but I guess like he's running against her for mayor, and she's losing the vote, and she's like, "I can't disavow my best friend Sonny Corinthos at a time like this because Sonny said winter is coming. Winter is coming. Violence is coming to Port Charles, and now I gotta see the prophecy through. I gotta stand by him." Girl, okay, we're gonna come back to Laura. Let's just to get it out the way, because it's kind of a straggler story, is Michael's PTSD. The week's theme, like I said, is PTSD. Everybody got PTSD. We're all PTSD'd out. So it's his PTSD and it's Willow's madness. Because, she's crazy. Because she don't have no kids. She can't be sane without her raggedy kids. And so, which is why she shouldn't have them. That's why she should not have them. But whatever. I'm not... Actually, I should be the judge because me and her are the same. But she getting paid. She don't even believe in that like I do. Let's move on. So Michael still needs pain pills, we learned, because I think he left too early because Willow's bitch ass is an idiot. And so now he's about to be a drug addict. I'm going to call that right now like Babe Ruth. Like, he's definitely about to be a crackhead. And Sasha going to have to save him because she's lived that life before. And it's going to be Misha Rising. So I'm here for it. Do I want to see Michael be a drug addict? No, I don't. But I do want to see Misha rise. So I'll accept it. We got to, sometimes that's what we got to do. That's the stuff we got to get through it. And so that's happening. He relays some of his burn trauma to Sasha, and like I said, they're rising all over the place. We love to see it. They hear about how Charlie's was burned, which is why we're getting the trauma dumping. And he promises Sasha that he loves his dad, but he's not going to be anything like his dad. Like, his kids aren't going to deal with the same stuff that, that he had to deal with. It's like, no, they're going to deal with a whole new bunch of stuff because, unlike you, they got an extra crazy mama who is like prone to cults and stuff. But, she loved it. She was like, "Oh my god, thank you for saying that. That is so so great." Uh the next day, Willow is out here stalking the pool trying to see her son like a freaking crazy person, even though the judge said you can't see them until after we set a trial date. I love that we have to pretend that these rich people who have both a pool and a lake have to go to the public hotel pool to teach their kid how to swim. I love that because why is Michael even fucking with this pool? Like, you have a pool on the Q property. Just pay somebody. You rich AF, so just pay somebody to come to your house, teach your kids how to swim. Whatever, whatever. It's the plot. The plot needs everybody in town, regardless of their bank account, to come to this public nasty pool that a pregnant woman almost died in last year. Who cares? Sure. But she's at the pool. Before Michael could show up, like I said, she's like, let me go narc out unattractive biracial ex-football player to Trina so they could fight. So I'm not the only person in a fight. Um, then she like runs up on Geo like, oh, I know what it feels like, and da da da. I'm like, this all could have been Trina. Trina also knows what it feels like. I don't need to see Willow. Don't talk to him, Willow. You're not in this family, Willow, so shut up. But whatever. I hate Willow so much. I hate her. Michael shows up with Wiley, and there's Willow looking crazed, and he, gets Wiley settled, like, oh, go to your swim lesson, and then he goes up to her like, can you leave? Like, can you leave? You're not supposed to be here. Like, please don't make this harder for our son than it already is. And of course she's like, no, 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 I'm not going to do that. She waits until Wiley 100% sees her so she can confuse him and he could be all sad and it could be awkward because she is a terrible mother. I would like to make that very known. She is awful. There's nothing about her her motherhood, how she mothers, that makes me think she should have her kids. Like, I'm sure she gives excellent hugs and makes great peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So do nannies. That's all I'm saying. But Michael is pretty much like, bruh, please don't do this to both her and Wiley, because he's trying to go home. He needs to take a pain pill. He don't have time to deal with this. He don't have to deal with her ass anymore. They're divorced and he has full custody. But Wiley is very upset and he does try to calm him down and comfort him. But like I said, I don't even blame Michael. This is her fault. This is her fault because he wasn't even thinking about her until she showed up, like with her little tears in her eyes, like, oh my god, I miss you so much. Terrible mother. I hope everything in bad in life happens to her. I'm gonna hate that character for life. She gonna have to do something so cool, so epic, that to redeem herself in my eyes, because I am so irritated with this character. Girl, get out of my face. Get out of my face. But let's move past it. No more Willow. Let's talk about Deception's woes and BOQ's plan backfiring spectacularly, which I don't care about, but people do care about it and they will care about it. So let's talk about it. So Gio and Emma, they're being cute at some cafe that has like an obscene amount of flowers, but only in one part of the cafe where Emma happens to be sitting. So she looked all cute, but then it's also like, why is like, do you have to like request this seat? So it's like the cute Instagram seat. Like, ooh, make sure I get the flower seat because I'm gonna be taking all the photos. It was a weird setup. It's not like they were in some super floral place. Like, I looked around the restaurant. It was just behind her. And like I said, she looked very cute, but what the hell? But whatever. Gio was like, hey, you look cute, girl. I'm dropping out of PCU. She's like, what? What? Gulp, let me finish my coffee first. What do you mean? He's like, listen, I am here on like a music scholarship and I don't do music no more. I'm not gonna be the first chair And so I might as well just cut that off of the past and be like, I'm out. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna start my life. Why is the like tried and true crash out of the young adult set to just drop out of college? Like that is the young that if you are under the age of 22, you are most likely in college, and you if you have to crash out, it will be by dropping out. They had Trina drop out. And sir, we've done this. We've done this, and then you decide you don't want to drop out, and then you come back and we got to pretend like college works in ways in which it doesn't work. Stop it. Luckily, we got Emma here. Emma's like, bruh, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, okay, you feel that way now. Give me like 6 weeks. I can get you loving music again. Trust. I believe in myself. So don't drop out yet. Let's just like wait it out. And if you have to give up music, let's just ask Sonny to pay for it. Because wasn't he paying for your shit before when he didn't know you were his grandson? Gio was like, I don't know. That might be weird. Sir, why would it be weird? Why would it be weird? He was paying for you before he knew you were his grandson. So obviously he's just down to pay for you. He believes in the journey. Whatever. Plot. Like I said, plot requires that we deal with this. But she does convince him to hold off on dropping out until he actually has to. She essentially tells him that he shouldn't give up on his talent, that his talent is his. Even if his life was a lie, the talent is real. But if he's still, suss out music, why doesn't he help her honeypot a grown man? And he said, absolutely, let's do it. We're honeypotting. And so that is what Gemma is doing this summer. They are honeypotting a grown man while Jocelyn tries to steal old girl's homework. And I'm excited to see it. I'm not going to lie. But the next day, Gio is at work. Like I said, Willow ran up on him, and there was a weird exchange that could have been Trina. We didn't need Willow. Get out of here, girl. And that's pretty much. You know what? I'm gonna talk about what the rest of Geo in a different part. So I'm gonna come back to it. Put a pin in that. Let's go to the Q Mansion. So Brooklyn's at the Q Mansion. Temp Maxie comes because Kirsten Storms is out, so we got a temp playing Maxie. She comes over to talk about deception, and she ends up finding out about BOQ's like Rocco shenanigans with the birth certificate and Brit, and she's like, girl, why you doing that? What's that got to do with Rocco? Like, I get that you beefing with Lulu, but like, why are you out here hurting kids? Brooklyn's like, listen, she said she was a good mom. She said she didn't lie to her kids. Why wouldn't, I assume Rocco already knows. Why would this even be a big deal since she's such a honest, truthful person who just doesn't lie to her fucking kids? Maxie rightfully is like, girl, she been in a coma for 4 years. Like, when was she supposed to tell his ass? Like, telepathically? Like, Brooklyn, because like I said, she got nothing but like smoke for Lulu. She's like, I don't know, she's such a beacon of truth and honesty. I thought she would have woke up and told his ass immediately, the way she was in my fucking face. But you know what, you're right, girl. It does not have anything to do with Rocco. And so I decided against it. I was going to set it up so he could accidentally find it, and then I changed my mind and I'm not going to do it. Unbeknownst to her, Rocco already found it. LOL at Maxie not even being that mad. You think Maxie would be like, I can't believe you did that. Let me go warn Lulu. She was just like, bestie, don't be doing that. Like, girl, please. And Brooklyn was not a string of violence. She was like, bitch, you got cotton in your ears? I just said I didn't. So she wasn't even like remorseful about it. She's like, listen, I didn't do it, but I wouldn't have been wrong if I did. But like I said, she technically did do it because Rocco did find the birth certificate. So Rocco is with Danny, his like conjoined twin at this point. They're so adorable, but they are like joined at the hip. But like they're talking about it. Rocco is understandably freaking out because like all he know, like he has his birth certificate. How does he like? Is he just connecting dots? Because the birth certificate does not say Rocco Falconeri. It says Ben Westbourne. But like he's just like, what does this mean? My mom's not my mom. What's going on? And so Emma comes because, like, they call Emma because they somehow know, like, they know enough about the plot line of this to know that Britt was dating Patrick. So Emma, like, gives them the tea. Like, yeah, Britt was a bitch, hated her. We were beefing. I was 5. She's beefing with me. Like, who's beefing with a 5-year-old girl? What the hell? And, my dad only liked her, but then he realized she was awful, and then he dumped her, but then she went crazy and tried to, like, get pregnant to try to keep him. And that's when she realizes why they're talking to her, because she knows that Rocco is the baby that she did that with. And so she's like, dip. Okay, so this is so complicated. Like, I was just a child, I was a babe when this happened, and so maybe you should talk to your parents and they could give you more information, because I'm sure there's shit I don't know about this. Like, my bad, I didn't know. And she bounces. At this point, Rocco is on full crash out mode. Danny has to be like, bruh, look at me in my face. I love you, bruh. And I don't care how you got here. The fact that you're here is fucking awesome. And, like, this woman's crazy. She sucks. But also, you're my brother. And so let's go have fun. Let's have a good summer. Rocco's like, no, I'm gonna go to my mom and crash out. So he goes to see his mom, and that's pretty much where we leave them. Like, he comes in, Lulu is about to be like, hey, do you mind, like, turning your back on your grandfather, for your grandmother? And he's like, I don't want to talk about that, I want to talk about Britt Westbourne. And so that's gonna be Monday's storyline, Lulu having to talk about that. And I mean, it's an awkward. There's a lot of feelings around this, and, like, all feelings are valid. I'm gonna keep it cute. I just don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, not that I don't care. Like, I like the storyline. It's just such a crazy scenario that I'm not super heartbroken that this kid got to deal with the fact that he's a stolen embryo baby. If anything, I hope that him finding out about this and freaking out leads to Jason telling Danny that he was kidnapped for the first, like, 4 months of his life. You know, like, everybody got a weird birth story, Rocco. Everybody got a weird birth story. You are not special. But that's what's happening with the, like, BOQ, crash out plan that, it backfired, because she wasn't going to do it, but now it's done, and she can't say she didn't do it. Like, she will try to, and I love BOQ fans. Like, I love y'all, and they are very much out in full force. Like, she didn't do anything. Like, he just happened upon it. Like, Gio happened upon it. Like, it's okay for Gio to happen upon things, but Rocco can't happen upon things. It's a valid point. It's a valid point. And everyone's like, well, Lulu was just trying to help Dante, and Brooklyn was trying to get even with Lulu. Brooklyn does not feel that. She does not feel like, just because the audience, like, a part of the audience has accepted that Brooklyn was trying to, or that Lulu was trying to do something to help Dante, Brooklyn as a character does not accept that answer. And so it's not like she is operating under the pretense that Lulu was trying to help Dante and now I gotta take her ass down. She's operating under the pretense that Lulu was coming for my ass and now I'm coming for her. And that's all I want to say on that. Like, whatever side you land on that, that's valid. That's valid. I personally am on Brooklyn's side. I understand Lulu's side. I'm not like, this is a irrational side. Like, I understand the side. I disagree with it. That's my best response to it. But let's talk about, like, BLQ and Lulu's womb adjacent storylines, and let's talk about the deception part of it all. Okay, so funny story, true story. The Chaylin drama is probably gonna be Sonny Corinthos mob shenanigans and not Brooklyn having Dante as a baby daddy shenanigans, and I think that is hilarious. But also, how is Chase allowed to be on this case when his wife is the owner of deception? Like, the reason Dante can't be on the case is because his dad is Sonny. And so why wouldn't Chase be taken off? This is the issue. You can't really do this. Like, certain people are too close to certain things because everybody's too close to everything. Because there's only a limited amount of characters on the show. And everybody's connected to everybody at this point. And so, okay. But, they're having issues. They're at the christening. BLQ tried to ask Chase about it. He's like, don't talk to me about this. It's my job. But he's narking out shit at the christening. Brooklyn's like, bruh, can you not be narking people out at the family christening? My God. And he's like, nah, girl, this is my job. And I'm not on his side, but I understand if you are. But essentially, Brooklyn is like, crap. So my husband's not gonna play ball. Let me go tell my grandmother. She tells Tracy that the mob money has ended up in deception. And Tracy is understandably pissed. She's like, I knew it. I knew it, damn it. And so she's automatically like, cool, we're going to turn on Sunny. I don't give a shit. Like, we going to turn all the stuff over, be like, look at the offshore accounts, bruh. It's not us. And get our slap on the wrist and go back into business. Let that man go to jail. Brooklyn is like, we can't do that. We can't do that. First, I like Sonny. I don't want him to go to jail. Secondly, and most importantly, my son likes Sonny. And if he goes to jail because of me or you, he's never going to talk to me again. You can't do that. Tracy is like, cool, I hear you. I hear all of that. I will keep you out of it, but I'm turning that man into the police. Just know that that's happening. At the same time, Chase comes in, tells them both about the fire at Charlie's and about how homophobe Maria Santos is dead. At that point, Tracy kind of forgets about narking out Sonny to Chase, and she starts thinking about Gio, like, oh crap, shit's going down in Port Charles, and Gio is now known to be Sonny's grandson. I gotta go save my great grandson. And so she is like, we gotta save Gio. Maxie comes over, like I said, because they were talking about the Rocco of it all. But she had initially come over for this. Brooklyn is like, Sonny's mob money ended up in the company. What do we do? Maxie, like Tracy, is like, we gonna turn on Sonny. What you talking about? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I need this money. Sonny gonna be alright. And if he's not alright, that's his fault. He could kill the accountant. Don't kill us, because we're not. We told him that, like, if we, between him and us, it's gonna be us. Brooklyn's like, I hear that, but Gio's gonna be mad. Maxie's like, listen, I know Gio's gonna be mad, but, like, my kid's gonna be mad if they can't get fed, if they don't have a house to live in. So we're gonna be turning on Sonny. And like I said, they kind of get distracted by the Rocco was born to Brit Westborn of it all. But, essentially everybody is kind of like coalescing on, we got to turn on Sonny. And given the fact that Lucy is dating white East African warlord, I'm sure she will also be, let's turn on Sonny. And so, like, the more people turn on Sonny, the more it lets me know that Sonny's gonna come out of this smelling like roses at the end of it. But everyone's turning on Sonny. Tracy beelines it to the Metro Court to go talk to Gio. And she's like, you gotta back off Sonny. He's dangerous. There's a mob war happening. People know you're his grandson. And you gotta stop that. Gio is like, don't talk to me. Don't tell me what to do. You don't own me. I'm not just one of your little toys. Like, all the lyrics to the song. She's just like, bruh, if I get that you upset about how you found out about your existence and stuff. This is real. Like, you're in danger, essentially. If you hear fireworks in the background, it's 4th of July, and so that's gonna be a thing. You know, happy 4th. 4th of July is when the Caesar salad was invented. Fun fact. But if you hear fireworks, that's what's happening. I'm recording this on the 4th. But yes, she's trying to explain to Gio that he's in danger. He's like, you're just trying to turn me against Sonny. I'm watching this like, yeah, bruh. Like, she's not even being secretive about this. Like, yeah, she's 1,000% trying to turn you against Sonny because you're in danger. But he's young and hard-headed and upset, and so he's not trying to, hear it. Tracy is really like, go see all the dead bodies, my guy. Go see all the dead bodies. And then you decide what you're about to do. Here's the thing. Even though I'm Team Sonny and I'm not on Tracy's side, I don't get why he's got so much attitude for her. I wish they had shown more of her being at odds with Gio, or any of the Quartermains being at odds with Gio. They really only gave us that Dante scene. And now he's like, forget all these people. I don't fuck with any of them. Why? Like, the Qs didn't really do anything. Like, Ned didn't do anything to you, my guy. Like, Olivia didn't do anything to you. Tracy, like, what she says some snippy comments, but it's like, you're not special. She says that to everybody. And so, like, I get why he's not talking to Brooklyn and Dante. I think it would be more compelling if he was talking to everybody but Brooklyn and Dante. Like, so he's not going to be talking to Lois and Gloria, obviously, but if he was fine with the Quartermains, but just not engaging with the two of them, I think that would make more sense because you didn't really give him a reason to be beefing with the Qs like this. Like, this isn't a Jason situation and like Jason in 97 situation. Okay, whatever. But that's pretty much the like Chaylin, Geo, Gemma, BOQ versus Lulu of it all. Funny how the like main stories of the past 2 weeks, which is Drillo and like BOQ versus Lulu, became stragglers this week. Like they're a part of a larger story, but they're just not the most important thing going on. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Those things should be winding down, and other stories should be taking precedent, which is, I think, something that I was worried about 3 weeks ago when I started this podcast again. I'm like, I'm starting this because there's like really good storylines happening right now, and what happens when they conclude or when they hit a lull. And I'm very happy to report that even with them hitting a lull, there's still a significant amount of things happening that I can talk about for a good amount of time. Like, it's 45 minutes into this podcast, and I haven't even talked about the main issues that are happening in Port Charles, which are essentially, Sonny versus White East African Warlord, the DA's office versus the PCPD, the PCPD versus Sonny and White East African Warlord. The girls are fighting, y'all. Like, the girls are fighting. Let's get into it. So, the DA shows up with her shoulder pads to Anna's office and starts throwing accusations at her. Anna is like, I don't have time for this. I'm really sick of your attitude. You came to join the baseball team. I thought we were having a moment, and now you back in my face talking about, are you working for Sonny? Are you working for Sonny? Because Anna is looking at this woman like she definitely knows that she is going to be either framing or fucking Sonny in the near future. She's like, you talking about me crashing out on Sonny Corinthos, you crashing out on Sonny Corinthos. I don't know which way you're going. I don't know if you're going to destroy your career by framing him or destroy it by fucking him. But either way, you crashing out. She's like, I'm not crashing out. I'm trying to get to the bottom. I'm trying to find justice. Her and her shoulder pads. Okay, Queen. Jordan comes in to complain about Portia, and Anna kicks DA out her office. Like, girl, get out of here. I need to talk to my friend about her having an affair with her ex-husband. But the DA comes back to be like, Chase just called me from the christening to narc that homophobe Maria Santos and Sonny had a fight. Go get her. So Anna's like, cool, we gotta go get homophobe Maria Santos. Homophobic Maria Santos, let's get into her story. Homophobic Maria Santos may have had one of the most epic crash outs in GH history. Because why she do this? Why did she do any of this? It's just, why did any of this happen? It's so crazy to me. But homophobic Maria Santos shows up at the christening. She shows up to the christening to have this crash out. She tells Sonny outside the church that they're supposed to be in Belize. Like, we're supposed to be in Belize. We're supposed to be together. We're supposed to be starting a life together. These two have never even dated. They've never slept together. They've never talked about this. This is all a fever dream she made up 3 days ago. But she is so furious that he is not moving to Belize with her when he at no point said that he would move to Belize with her. I've been saying that going to Belize sounds like a euphemism for murder. But she was very convinced that they were going to Belize together. He is understandably like, who said that? Who said that, Queen? When did I say that? I didn't say that. She's like, am I just supposed to go? I'm just supposed to go and start a new life? What about connections? What about this? What about, I'm like, girl, what connections do you have in town? You have two LGBT children who don't talk to you because you're a homophobe. Your ex-husband doesn't talk to you. You lost your job because you lied about him. Like, you don't have anyone to talk to in this town anyway. Like, if you went back to Puerto Rico, I could see, like, oh, I could go talk to the homophobes that I know back there. But there's nothing for you in Port Charles. But she's just so shocked that Sonny doesn't want to come with her. Christina ends up coming out the church being like, hey, Daddy, you could come in? Because, like, we're at church, right? Sonny is like, yeah, I'm going to be there in a second. I need to deal with this crazed, lonely woman. Maria Santos she then gives like this Godfather-esque ass speech and then goes back to her hotel room and unalives herself. Just in the craziest, like, if Sunny's guard is constantly leaving her alone. Like, I would have been in her room with her. Like, girl, let me help you pack because we got to go. I don't have time for this. But he's just like, girl, hurry up. I'm waiting outside. She is like, I got to take a shower. I got to do all these things. She keeps pouring glasses of whiskey and then taking random sedatives and then crying and then like getting more whiskey, looking at the pills, taking another pill with more whiskey. She does this like 12 times. She sends her son some drunk texts and then just lays on the couch and dies. It was like, what? Okay. We just had to watch this woman have this sad, like, Hollywood starlet end. It was, I don't feel bad for her. I do not feel bad for her the way I feel bad for most Hollywood starlets, but I was like, what, girl? You thinking about your homophobia and taking pills and accidentally unaliving yourself, getting a bunch of people in trouble? But, you know, she went to the great beyond for homophobes, and she it's just, they killed her on the last day of Pride. That's what I'll say. She died June 30th, the last day of Pride. She couldn't survive Pride, and that's always a fun thing to think about, that like at least the writers were thinking about how they're gonna illustrate her death. I will say she wasn't pronounced dead until July 1st. And maybe it's supposed to be 4th of July. I have no idea. But it was June 30th when we watched her go to the great beyond for homophobes. And I'm keeping it. That was the time, oh, I will never forget. But she's dead. Then we have to go through the christening. This stupid affair where like the name is Daisy Celeste. Why? What's special about these names? Like, they're giving vibe based decision making when we have history we could be pulling from, but whatever. We have that. Then Jason lies in the church talking about he renounces Satan when he's a whole ass mobster. Is very funny. And then I just want to say, I think it's weird to give a real baby a fake baptism. I just think that's where I crash out and say you can't be doing that. Like, because if I'm religious, I'm like, I don't want you to give my baby a fake baptism. And if I'm not religious, I also do not want you to give my baby a fake baptism. But I know that we got to do this. But they have baptism. They go to like the cues where Sonny spends the like rest of the episodes acting like he murdered Maria Santos while Chase snitches on him. And they have a weird scene at the Q mansion where everybody is toasting to this baby, all while homophobe Maria Santos is meeting her Hollywood starlet end. It's weird framing. Very weird framing. I noticed they had lemonade in Sonny's hand to the toast, like so wholesome. He could not have murdered this woman. But, it's so funny. At the same time as Maria Santos is unaliving herself and we're having this christening, Lucas has Latino son at Carly's house for reasons. which are weird because Sunny's baby lived there, and you have to know that Sunny don't want this man near her baby. Like, I get that they're dating and that Lucas lives at Carly's house, but like, be so serious right now, Lucas. But Lucas invites him over. He's like, I wanted to cook for you, but then I remember I don't know how to cook. Latino son is like, don't even trip. I'm gonna cook this for you. I got you. He starts to get the drunk text from his mom. Um, he's like, oh, what am I? Like, oh wait, let me go back to the dinner because there was some things in the dinner that I think are actually really interesting. So one, Lucas, when he's explaining how he can't cook, he brings up how like his mom knew how to cook Bobby because the Bobbies, which I'm like, did she? Was that what she been known for? I thought she was a nurse, but like, yeah, Bobby knew how to cook, but like and me and Carly don't know how to cook, and then my sister Sam didn't know how to cook. Like, I guess like we got the good hair gene, but not the good cook gene. And I'm like, did y'all forget who Lucas is related to? Because I feel like you did. Because like Sam and Lucas have the same genes, but Lucas and Bobby do not have the same genes because he is adopted. He is adopted. That is, Carly is his adopted sister, and Sam was his real life sister, and their shared parent is Julie and Jerome. Just a little history lesson if anyone from GH is listening. But he asked how Latino's son learned how to cook. And he's like, from my mom. Like, we used to cook together. It was really, really nice. And then she became a homophobe. And I'm like, oh my God, yikes. Not him remembering the good times with her before she gets got. But they eat dinner. He's getting the drunk texts. And afterwards, he decides to go see his mom. He's like, Lucas is like, I don't know, shit's going down. Your mom might be leaving the country. She's sending you drunk texts. Maybe you should go see your mom. And so he goes to see his mom. Unfortunately, he's not going to get to his mom because Charlie's is burning. Charlie's is burning. There is a firebomb attempt, and Christina's an idiot. Let me just say that real quick. I know y'all already know. She's an idiot. She's back to being dumb. So Christina gets a call that the manager for Charlie's is sick, and so she's like, I'm gonna go open it up. Lucky for that manager, unless he's in on it, then unlucky because he's gonna get got by Jason. But she goes to open the bar, immediately gets in, smells gas because two dudes like broke into their, poured gasoline all over the place. She smells gas. She's like crouching down on the ground, like smelling it and stuff. Girl, if you smell gas, just get out of there. But no, she's got to do all these extra steps, and then they firebomb the bar, and so now she's trapped. Latino's son sees the bar. He's like, my good Samaritan is activated. Let me go see if anyone's inside this burning building. Christina's like, I'm in the burning building. I tried to put the fire out with the world's smallest fire extinguisher. It did not work. He's like, bet, I got this fire retardant blanket in my car. I'm gonna come save you. The front is all burnt out. They can't go out through there. He's like, is there any other exit? She's like, the back. Tell me why the back door is like 3 inches from where she was. Why did she just choose to lay down and die? She's like, let me lick the ground and make sure it's really gasoline. Let me try and put this massive gas fire out with a tiny baby fire extinguisher, and then let me lay down and die, even though I could just literally walk 3 inches to my right and be outside. Okay, sure. But they get out. Everything's great. At the same time, Alexis is over at Windermere with White East African Warlord. Now, White East African Warlord was watching Charlie's burn from his castle. Apparently, you can see all of Port Charles from Windermere. I did not know that. Because he's like, look at Charlie's burning. Because he burnt it. Alexis shows up like, hey, I'm here to go through every single one of the paperworks you gave my law firm with a fine-tooth comb because I don't trust you, bruh. He is so funny. He throws the most, like, obscene temper tantrum about having to do this. He's like, I feel like you're discriminating against my son. Like, how dare you? Da, 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 da. Alexis is like, listen, I have a very important reputation that I worked really hard for, and I'm just not going to have it be besmirched by your bitch ass East African warlord ways. This is hilarious coming from Alexis because she is currently embezzling money from a toddler, talking about how important her reputation is to her. Okay, queen, whatever. But white East African warlord is like, this is discrimination. Like, what if they do this to Christina? And like, Alexis is not trying to hear this classic Lucas Jones, judge not lest he be judged ass speech from him. She's just like, cool, bruh. I have a mobster as a baby daddy. Now let's look over all this shit with a fine tooth comb, you old bitch. So they're doing that when Alexis gets the call about Charlie's. She's like, okay, let me go. Christina's in trouble. Um, at that point, Christina's outside. Dante shows up. Dante came out of nowhere. Dante came out of nowhere. I was like, Dante, where where you come from? You haven't been in any of these episodes. But Dante's here 16 minutes into Tuesday's episode, having not been in any episode since. But he shows up. I'm here to investigate. Now let's go back to the cues where we have to position everybody for the news that Charlie's got firebombed. All right. So first we got Jocelyn telling Lucas that Maria Santos crashed out at the christening. So now Lucas knows that she crashed out at the christening, right? You got Molly showing up at the after party to the christening, which makes sense in the longer timeline of GH history because Michael and Molly grew up together. They were quite close, but not in the shorter timeline of GH history where they act like they don't know each other. But for this plot point purpose, Molly needs to be here so she can learn about Maria Santos. Both Maria Santos, but also Christina being in this fire. We got Jason telling Sunny Maria Santos did not show up to the plane, so Sunny knows that. We got Carly asking Jason about Maria Santos, being like, that was weird. What's going on there? We got Michael telling Sunny he's the greatest man who ever lived, just to prop Sunny up before everyone tells him how he ain't shit. And then we finally get Jason telling Sunny about the fire at Charlie's, and then Molly gets a call about the fire at Charlie's. So now everybody's pretty much caught up to the fact that Charlie's has been firebombed. Like I said, Christina and Latino Son get out of there. Dante shows up. He asks what happened. Then Sunny and Jason show up. They see Latino Son, immediately get suspicious and aggressive, which makes Latino Son get aggressive because he's like, why are you getting aggressive? Like, I just saved her life. What the fuck's the problem? Then Molly and Alexis show up and they get aggressive, except this time with Sunny. Not Molly. Molly's just happy to see Christina, but Alexis is like, this your fault. This your fault. And I'm kind of like, I get you, Alexis. I understand. But girl, you're the one who procreated with this man. Like, you had a baby with this man. What? Okay, this was your choice. But more cops show up. The fire department shows up. We got to find out, was this intentional or not? Then the cops are at Maria Santos's hotel room. And she's dead, right? They take her to GH, even though she dead. And attracted biracial doctor and Elizabeth are like, she's dead. The funniest part, like I said earlier, is that there's a dead woman at the Metro Court and no one is calling Carly or Olivia. They're just like, well, that's fine. They'll find out at the newspapers. Okay. Homophobe Maria Santos gets to the hospital. Liz is like, oh shit, this is Lucas's boyfriend's mom. Let me break all sorts of HIPAA laws and call Lucas. I'll just say it's because he's a doctor. Lucas comes and she's like, oh dip, Marcos is supposed to go see his mom. Like, where is he? Because Lucas doesn't know that he went to save Christina. So much is happening this week. So much is happening. If you're having trouble keeping up with me, I apologize. That's how much was happening this week. It's easier to give the recap when nothing's happening because you just be like bloop bloop bloop. But now so much is happening. Okay, so I'm gonna try and keep it as clear as possible. Homophobe Maria Santos at the hospital. Lucas is at the hospital. Liz is at the hospital. at the hotel room, Chase and Anna are like, what do you think happened? And, Chase is like, do you think this was intentional? And Anna's like, we can't rule it out. Like, we can't rule it out because she was going to testify against Sonny. This is crazy to me. Like, I understand why they're having them say that. I just don't think they should have showed us what actually happened. Like, we saw that she unalived herself. Like, she did that to herself. No one made her do that. But why did you show us that? Because now we have information that the characters don't have. And so now we're just waiting for the characters to play catch up with us. That's not fun. Like, it would have been better for her, like, have Sunny's guard take her into her room, or not him take her, like, she goes into her room to be like, I gotta get ready, I gotta do all the things. We see Marco getting the text, right? But we're not with her. We just see him getting the text. And then, the DA is like, you gotta go pick up homophobe Maria Santos. Anna, go get her. Anna goes, finds her dead. And you leave it ambiguous. So we don't know if Sonny did it or not. Because, like I said, you had him sound like he gonna murder her for the past 2 weeks. With this whole, we go send her to Belize as plan. And so if you had left it ambiguous, you still could have gone with what you have gone with, which is she unalived herself. But you don't tell us that for like a month and a half. So you have all these people, when they're questioning whether or not Sonny did it, we're questioning it too, right? Because you would have like people in the audience who would be like, yeah, Sonny and Jason, because Jason was 100% down to kill this woman, which I'm gonna get to that. You would have people who be like, Sonny is an evil mobster, this mobster with the heart of gold stuff is bullshit, and there's totally a reality where he would have killed her. And then you'd have other people like myself being like, no, he didn't kill her, he was actually gonna send her to Belize, even though it sounds like he was gonna murder her, right? You would have this sort of like back and forth on the timeline talking about the show on Instagram, all the things, but instead you just showed us that, like, no, he didn't kill her. And once again, everybody's jumping to the wrong conclusion because they're a freaking idiot. And so I don't think, I don't I don't think this was the best idea, right? I think that the audience should be right now thinking like, was this Sonny? Was this Jason? Was it White East African Warlord? Like, this is Jagger Cates all over again. Like, you showed us Sonny killing him and just took all the air out of, like, whatever murder mystery type sale you could have had. And so, okay. Because, like I said, I think Jason is a decent suspect just because, like, Sonny was the one who was very much like, we're going to send her to Belize. We're going to set her up with a new life, and we're going to send her to Belize. Jason was very much like, why we got to send this bitch to Belize? We don't know her like that. Like, we could quote, send her to Belize, wink, wink. But he was actually trying to send her ass to Belize. Like, and so it's silly that you just showed us her unaliving herself, according to me. I just think it was a mistake. But like I said, it's not enough to be like, this week was terrible. I actually quite enjoyed this week, so let's move on. Anna finally gets to the hospital. Latino son's still not there. He's still getting berated by Sonny and Jason. Anna's like, I want to do an autopsy right now. If Sonny needs to be arrested, I would like to do that sooner rather than later because it's gonna be a headache. Lucas is like, nah. My man needs to know that his homophobic mama is dead before you doing any of that. Which, you know what, Lucas, good for you. Take care of your man. Take care of your man because people are acting crazy. Dante calls Anna to be like, hey, there's a fire at Charlie's. I got that shit under control. Don't even trip. Latino son is here. Anna's like, Latino son's there? Tell him to bring his punk ass to GH so I can get this autopsy done sooner rather than later. And so Dante's like, hey, Latino son, stop being berated by my daddy and go to GH, where he finds out that his mama is dead. Then we see White East African Warlord calling whoever set the fire and is like, no one was supposed to be there, and Christina got hurt. And so clearly we're dealing with another mobster with a heart of gold type situation. And I'm pretty sure this confirms that he started the fire that got Michael. But you know what? Pick your mobster with a heart of gold. That's my advice. If you like White East African Warlord and that's your mobster with a heart of gold, go for it. If you like Jason, go for it. If you like Sunny, I like Sunny, go for that. But like, we have multiple mobsters with hearts of gold to choose from now, because White East African Warlord, his heart is not 3 sizes too small. We learned, but interestingly enough, when Latino son gets to the hospital, they gave him like a whole morning scene over homophobic Maria Santos's dead body. And I'm like, okay, this is a good scene because he is a good actor. Like, he's a very good actor. But it's a weird scene because he's like a very new character and she is a very disliked character. So I don't know if I needed the scene, but you know, he was good in it. But he laments over how, you know, he could have saved her from her homophobia and that he loved her and shit. And at the same time, White East African Warlord calls Selena Wu. And, you know, you're thinking, like, why is he calling Selena Wu? What's going on? He calls Selena Wu and it's like, hey, girl, I just framed you for firebombing Sunny, and so you might want to get out of town. She's like, bro, what are you talking about? I did not firebomb Sunny. Sunny and Jason know me. We've been besties for years, okay? I've teamed up with them. We have a relationship. I'm going to go tell them right now that you did that shit. He's like, really? Because Sunny's kind of crazy. Do you think he's going to listen to you long enough to, like, you know, get your little case across, or is he just going to shoot you in the face as soon as you knock on the door? Selena Wu is like, you know what? I'm not going to take the chance. I guess I got to get out of town. He's like, you can come back when Sunny's dead. When I'm running this town, it's going to be a better place for you. It's going to be a safer place. She's like, yeah, sure. I've heard that before. Let me leave. I feel like her leaving like that was the signal that she didn't do that. That she didn't do that, and we're going to see her again. I'm going to call that. We will see Selena Wu again. It's not the last of Selena Wu. But he's definitely framing her. He's framing her. He's doing so much. But he he sends her away. We go back to the hospital. Anna is with attractive biracial doctor, and he tells her that homophobe Maria Santos OD'd, but they don't know if it was accidental or on purpose, intentional. Like, she doesn't have any defensive wounds, so they can't say that someone definitely held her down and forced her to drink, but, like, they just don't know. And so Anna's like, fuck, okay, great. You know, Marco feels all bad because he's like, well, I was busy saving that bitch ass Sonny Corinthos' daughter. Like, I like her, but I hate him. And now my mom is dead. That sucks. Anna tells him that his mom was beefing with Sonny before she died. Like, she tells him, because Lucas had brought up the fact that homophobe Maria Santos had crashed out at the christening. Not even Lucas. Chase brought that up. My bad. Chase had narked out Sonny because he was at the christening. That's why you don't invite Chase places. That's what we learned. Chase can't come. He's no longer invited. But Chase had narked out. That's homophobe Maria Santos was there. Anna tells Marco, he's like, that's all I need to hear. Sonny did that shit. It's not accidental. Anna's like, oh, okay. Please say more. At that point, Lucas is like, bruh, shh, don't incriminate yourself, bruh, stop. Lucas is deep in his West Side Story era. He's telling Liz, like, it's a war and his family's on one side and mine's on the other. Like, he's deep in his Maria era, and I'm so happy to see him in it. But also, like, why are you so good at, like, covering up crimes, Lucas? Because Lucas is like, bro, why are you about to tell the commissioner that you knew your mama was about to crash out and move to Belize? Like, what are you doing? He's like, thank you, babes. We are a great team. And I love Lucas, a Latino son. He's very close to, you hear me calling him Marco already. He's very close to earning his nickname under a year. Like, just earning his real name, getting rid of the Latino son nickname. Maria Santos is dead, so we don't need it anymore. But, you know, I maybe use it for a couple more weeks. But, he's definitely on his fuck Sonny Corinthos, I'm gonna get that man era. Like I said he would be. He's like, I need to call my dad, but I don't have my phone. Lucas is like, I'll call your dad. Calls white East African warlord. Tells him that homophobe Maria Santos is dead, and he comes down to the hospital and gives the most impressive performance of fake grief I've ever seen in my life. He's just like, oh my God, son, I can't believe it. I can't believe you're hurting like this. Come here, son. Gives him a hug and stuff. He's like, oh my God, Dad, like, it's all my fault. If I had got to her in time, but I was too busy saving Christina Corinthos Davis from that goddamn firebombing. He's like, wait a minute. You were at the firebombing? You could have died, son. Oh my God. It's like, East African warlord is growing on me. He's really growing on me because, like, he is so silly. He is a goofy man. And I like it because, like, Julian was an idiot. Anthony Zaccaro was too crazy. White East African warlord is giving me Lorenzo Alcazar energy. And, like, Lorenzo Alcazar was on this show for a while, right? Like, he wasn't the mobster of the month type villain where we gotta get him the fuck out of there. Like, he was around for a minute. He was able to sort of rebrand, but not in an idiotic way like Julian, like in a real way. And so, like, white East African warlord is growing on me, even though he ain't shit. He ain't shit, but he's growing on me. But let's continue. We're almost done. Anna essentially got to come arrest Sonny for murdering homophobe Maria Santos because the hotel pictures show his guards outside of her room. Now, he's currently at his house with Jason being like, if white East African warlord came after my kids, I'm gonna kill his son. That's what he said when he was with white East African warlord. Remember, he was all like, if anything happened to my kids, something gonna happen to your kid. So Sonny is doubling down that if anything happens to my kids, I will definitely be killing Latino son. Okay, sure. But Anna shows up. Anna's like, so Maria Santos is dead. Sonny genuinely surprised because remember, they just knew she never went to the plane. They don't know she did. And so he lets Anna in the house. That should have let Anna know right out the gate that he didn't do that shit. Because why would if he had done that, her ass would not be in the house. Her ass would be in Diane's office. So he's like, girl, come in. Because what you mean she was dead? But this is where he fucks up. She's like, so are you close to homophobe Maria Santos? He's like, no. She's like, I really wish you had said that to me because I have pictures of your guards outside of her hotel room. I know she showed up to your granddaughter's christening, crashing out. Stop it. So she takes him downtown, down to the PCPD. The DA won't let Diane see him, which seems illegal. Like, girl, what are you doing? She's essentially trying to do to him what she did to homophobe Maria Santos, which is where she wouldn't let her get an attorney and was just like, I'm going to put you in jail for 5 years unless you flip on Sonny. The difference between her and Sonny is that this is not Sonny's first rodeo. And so Sonny essentially starts reading her for fills. He's just all like, this your fault. You're the reason she unalives herself because you don't let people see their fucking attorneys, bitch. And the crazy part about this is that it actually works. Tell me why it works. It was getting through to her. She was really like, well, like, I feel like it's both of our faults. Like, we both put her in that situation. And then Sonny, like, all of a sudden starts to comfort her. And this is what I mean when I say the show is a fucking comedy. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? He's just like, this your fault because she was all drunk and she was hurt and she was scared and she didn't have no attorney and you put her in this situation and now she unalived herself and that's on you. And then she was like, oh my God, I feel like it's both of our faults. And then he was like, nah, girl, it's her fault. It's her fault because we don't know what was in her mind, right? Like, obviously, you did your job. You did what you had to do. And I did what I had to do. And then she did what she did. And that's not our fault, girl. And then, I swear to God, the DA leaves feeling better. He's 100% gonna fuck this woman. That's crazy. he's really gonna fuck another DA. It's the year of our Lord 2025. Like, she's just gonna. And Anna Duvane called it like Babe Ruth. Like, she was like, I don't know if you framing this man or fucking him, but you doing one or the other. And it's the latter, Anna. It's the latter. And so then we have Dante. Dante goes to Sonny's house. Jason's there. He's like, so the evidence says that Selena Wu did it. So should I even pick that hoe up, or is she already dead? Jason's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I would like to talk to a lawyer, and I don't even think Selena Wu did it. I don't think she did it. That shit is stupid and messy. Like, why would she do some shit? We're not even beefing with her ass. We're in good relationship with her ass. She uses her main dudes to do it. It's all sloppy and messy to the point where not only we can figure it out, but the cops can figure it out. What does that tell you? Who do you think did it? And then Dante was like, I don't know. It could be anyone. We got to follow the evidence. Jason's like, be honest. He's like, listen, we got to do the investigation. Be honest, bitch. Dante was like, it was white East African warlord. Thank you, bitch. Thank you, Dante. And so, Dante, Jason's like, listen, I don't have to rough you up or lie to your face, but like, we gonna do what we do. And Dante's like, I sure do. Luckily, I'm not on this case, so I'll see you at dinner, bruh. And bounces. So funny. So funny. And then the end of the episode, the end of this week, the beginning of this storyline, because I don't know what's about to happen, to be honest. It's getting crazy. You got Laura going to see Sonny, to what it seems like unofficially deputize him as deputy mayor of Port Charles and ask him about the prophecy and about winter coming to Port Charles. But that is the week. That's the week. A lot happened. Nothing happened, but a lot happened. And I was deeply entertained by all of it. This is probably one of the longest podcasts I've ever done for a 4-day week. Like, I'm at an hour and 21 minutes, and there's only 4 days I'm talking about here. And so all of them were really interesting to me. If they were not interesting to you and you listened to the entire episode, hopefully I helped to make it more interesting. If not, I don't know. If not, you might have to crash out on this show. But thank you for listening. If you like this, feel free to like this. You can now find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and now YouTube. I'm now uploading these to YouTube, so that'll be fun. But thank you again for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye.